This is going to be probably a really quick video, quick live session. Just wanted to get on. I got a couple of knives in. They're fairly large knives, but I want to show you on this one knife what we're going to be dealing with. If I can get this to focus properly, I'll show you what we're dealing with. If you can see, let me get it to focus here. If you can see how chipped that all is, that whole edge is just really chipped up badly. So we're going to work on getting that all. There you can see all the chips, how bad that is. But that's, something that we deal with quite often. Usually comes out with regular sharpening. So we're with the Bora 7 belt, and we're going to go ahead and get going with this. I just want to check real quick, make sure that our video and all that stuff is good. Yep, we're good. And I see Cindy's on. Welcome, Cindy. So we'll start with this knife, and then we'll deal with the chips on the other knife. This one actually has a few small chips. Okay. So this is the one that had the chips. So we may have to go back and forth a couple of times to get rid of those. You can see on the burr, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. You can see the little gaps in the burr where those chips are. Once you get a complete burr all the way across, you pretty well got the chips. And it looks like, I'll show this to you guys. So there you can see that it's, all those chips are gone on that edge. It's all nice and straight. So we should be good with that one. So let's go down to our acceleron belt. We'll refine this edge a little bit. This belt is wobbling a little bit, and I'm not sure why. That one's good. Let's refine the edge on this one. He said he uses this one quite a bit on the grill during the summer. That's why he's getting them sharpened. And I think That might be from actually hitting the grill with it, is why it was so chipped up. Let's go ahead and we'll check. Go to our leather wheel. A little bit of compound. It's about time to clean this wheel, I think. Okay. Get the burr off this one. Okay. Let's go ahead and clean these up. And we'll see where we're at. So we'll use a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. I want to make sure that I get any compound that's left on this edge. Make sure we get it all off. Yep, looks good. Okay. Yep, looks good. Let's go ahead and give them a little test. See how they work. A little grippy. Let's try it again. Might have some micro burr left on there. Sometimes the, yeah, we're good. Sometimes the first cut through the paper will take off any little micro burrs that you have. This one's being a little grippy on me too. See how it catches? Still catching down at the end here. So let's see if we can get this. Grab one more piece of paper. See if that took care of it. There you go. See how much smoother after that first cut? So sometimes you get a little bit of micro burr caught on there, and just going through the paper will take that micro burr off. I've seen a couple of people that actually take paper and they'll roll it up like this. I'm just doing this fast, but they'll roll it and they actually take the knife and they do this to get the burr off. I've never really tried it to see how well that works, but apparently it does. So something I should try one of these times. See how that works. So let's grab a couple of shears here. Those are short ones. There we go. Get these in sheaths. The top quarter, you mean by this part right here? Good question. It could be as you run across your, if you're doing it with a belt, as you run across the belt, because you're getting further out with your hand, you may not have the same kind of pressure. You may not be pushing up into the belt quite as much with that top end. You have to make sure you got steady pressure all the way across. So that could be part of the reason. I can't think of any reason that it would be the knife itself. On top quarter or fifth of the blade. Yeah, usually that's what happens with me too. I'll catch them either right down here near the bottom or right up here near the top is where I'll get those micro burrs. And if I get those, either they come off with paper, or I'll use my hand strap it a couple times just to get those micro burrs off. Occasionally it's bad enough that I have to go back to either the leather wheel, sometimes even back to the acceleron belt, to get those redone and then run it over the leather again. So, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think I probably had that problem more so in the beginning than I do now. I think it just comes with practice, and it's keeping a steady pressure with the knife on your belt to do that. So we are a little over a year in business. I've sharpened for a little longer than that, but we're about a year in business. And I started with I'm breaking my mount here. Let me get this out of here. And I'll show you guys where we're at and what we've done over the past year or so. So there we go. I started with just the work sharp. That was my mainstay when I opened the business, and that's what I started with, was just the work sharp. And then eventually, and I had a Cubitron and a Trizac and a leather belt that I used on this machine, and that's all I used to sharpen with. And eventually I went ahead and I got a buck tool slow speed, and I was using that with the Cubitron and Trizac belts, and then I'd go over to the buck tool or the work sharp with the leather. And eventually I picked up a second buck tool, so now I don't have to really switch belts. I just go from one to the next, and I really don't even use the work sharp much anymore. I'll use them on like EDC knives. It tends to work better for those than the belts the buck tools do. And then now I basically just go the 2 buck tools, then I go over to the leather wheel. So this was a sander that I had from previous ages that I hooked up to a foot pedal that I could just push and run that. And what I did is I flipped it upside down, mounted it on this board, and flipped it upside down. And I use that for really bad knives where they need to be recontoured. I'll use that. So that's where we're at right now. And I'm looking at other machines. I'd like to get a flat hone so I can start doing some shears. So that's what I'm hoping to graduate to. And eventually a clipper blade sharpening machine. So I'm looking into those and figuring out which way I want to go with all that. So, okay, guys. I believe that's it for this. I'd appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe so you can see more lives, and we post videos too. When we do more kind of informational, educational stuff, we tend to do on videos and on the long form videos. And then the regular sharpening we kind of do on our lives. So, okie doke, guys. Appreciate it. Glad you joined me this morning. Make sure you all have a great day, and we will see you in the next one.